Assalamu alaikum. Today is day 6 in PHP of the Mega DDCDP23 program, and we are in the part 5 of building a blog in PHP. Today we will be adding a comment system to our blog posts, and then we will be displaying them as well. So you might have seen and comment on other blogs as well. Uh, Comments basically are integral part of any blog system, so today we will be doing that. Let us start with the database table for comments, which I already have created so that we can save some time. If I click on the comments and then structure, so it has a comment ID which is foreign key, then the title of the comment, the detail of the comment or description, then parent. What does this parent column do? So actually, if a comment is being replied to, so the parent should be that comment ID. I will demo it in a while. Then status. So basically, once a user submits a comment, by default it should be 0, so that it is not active. Once the author of the article approves it, then that comment will be visible on the site. AID is the article ID on which the comment is being done. The UID, the user who is submitting the comment, and the date the comment was. So this is very self-explanatory, the rest of the columns. The most important one is the parent and the article. To save time, I already have added some comments into the table. So for example, this is a comment, good match. So the parent is 0, it means it is not a reply to any other comment. And the AID is 5, means the article ID on which the comment has been made is 5. So for example, in this parent table, this is the fifth comment is yes, I agree, and its parent is 2. This means that this is the reply to this ID, comment ID 2. So this was a good match. So the fifth comment is a reply to the second ID. Similarly, 6th comment is reply to the third comment, this one. So the parent shows the parent of the comment. If you come to 9, 10 and 11 comment IDs, it has the same parent, 666. It means this 6 comment ID, well, I don't agree, has 3 replies. So we can this is a very powerful system where any number of replies nesting can be done on comments, and we can follow this structure for categories also, so that if we need nested categories, we can have parents there as well. If a parent has 0, it means it will be a top level category, but if the parent has some IDs in the column, it means it will be nested under those parents or foreign primary keys. Okay, so the next step is to make a form for this table, which we are going to do now. We can, if I come to all articles page, or maybe articles.php, so for example, if I click on the 5th one, this one, here we need to have a form. Normally you will have a form at the bottom of an article, so here we will have a form, but for now let us create a form separately, and once we improve the application and learn using Ajax also, so we will bring the form back here. But for now, let us have a separate page for the form, the comment form. So I will create a form called comment form.php. Here we will add the form tag. Index.php question mark page is equal to comment form. As we have made the include system, so this form will be included into the main index page via this. So the action should also be this, and the method should be post. So the title, let us check this title, detail, and these values will be done differently, but we need just the title and detail for now. So for detail we will have text area, and the name is detail. We also need to have some hidden fields maybe, and I will explain why we need some hidden fields. Here on the article page we will create a link, add comment to this form, and once that link is clicked, the form page will open and it will bring the same ID, this article ID, with the in the URL. So we can save that ID in the hidden form as well, hidden fields. So here we will have input type is equal to hidden and value is equal to it will be $get $get and whatever the URL ID is, maybe AID. Also we need to make a button, save. I think this is enough for now. So if we access the comment form, index.php question mark page is equal to comment form, so it will show us title, description and save, but we are not adding labels, so let us add labels also. If you refresh the page, so this is the title and this is the, please ignore the CSS styling for this, because main concern of this course is PHP and not the front end. We already have done the front end, so you can go to that part of this course in DDCDP. So the next step is we need to submit this to this table, and for parent, status, AID, UID and date, we will have some logic, because we are not going to take them directly from the form. Also, let us create one more input. Let us copy this hidden field, and it will be CID or PID, parent ID. So by default, if we are adding the first comment or comment without any parent, it will be 0, but if it is in reply to something, some comment, then that ID of the comment will be $_get PID. I will demo it in a while. Now let us have form processing for this here in the comment form.php, in the PHP section at the top of the page. So to save some time, if we come to add article and just copy some code from there, add article. So if you will have some errors reporting as well, error handling, but the form is empty. We'll just copy this for now, maybe just 2, and in the comment form.php at the top of the page, we will close the if statement. Okay, so if is set, if server request method is equal to post, it means the form has been submitted. For the comment, then the title is already the same of the comment, and then if it is detailed, so please enter detail of the comment, and the description variable is going to be post description. We can even reset, have title is equal to this empty string and description, or detail is equal to this initially, so that we don't have any errors. Because we are going to have the value is going to be $, in case of errors, so that we can retain values in the form. And in the same here. Okay, so we are capturing the title of the comment form and the detail of the comment form. The next we need the parent, whatever the parent ID is, so that is, we can make it parent ID or PID is equal to $_post and it is should have a name. The input, the hidden field should have a name, is equal to parent ID or parent. Similarly, name is equal to article ID. Okay, so it should be parent, PID is equal to parent, and article ID is equal to $_post article ID. So these two values are also form fields, and they will be available once the form is submitted. So we have tackled the parent and the AID columns. Now status, UID and date. So status is equal to, by default let us make it 1 for now, but it should be 0, so that, or let us make it 0 for now, and then the UID is equal to whosoever logs into the system, his ID is saved in the session variable, and we can use that, but for now, for the purpose of ease, let us make it 1. And then we have the date. So date is the current PHP time. So now we have all the values. We can run database insert queries. So again, let us quickly go to add article, and if the errors are 0, you can define this variable. This is a good practice to have a false variable, and then if there are no errors, we make the variable true. So if I go to the comment form, and then let us copy some more values for this. If insert is equal to this, let us copy this, and this again, because we already have done this, to save time, we can make copy from our previous written code. Okay, insert into the name of the table is comments, title, detail, and Let's copy the names. Title, detail, parent status, AID, UID, parent status, AID, UID, and then date. Values, so the title, detail, and then it is parent, status. You can use hard-coded value as well, but let us make it this way. Status, AID, UID, and date. AID, comma, UID, comma, date. So AID, UID, date, AID, UID, date, status, parent, detail. So we are good to go with this. Now the title should be title, as we have defined it here, then the detail, and then these variables. So this is detail, this, then we have PID, we have parent, which is $sign PID, we have status. We can hard code the status value as 1 or even with the status variable, which is 0 at the moment. Then AID, UID, and date. So AID is AID, sorry, it is article ID. Then UID is 1. We can use that variable defined here, and then the date. And then we will insert this query, execute this query. And once this is done, it is if this query gets executed successfully, we will use a header redirect, and let us quickly copy that code as well from our article. We'll go to single article page. If you remember, we had created single article page. This is a single article page. With the ID, and the ID is AID. So the redirect will be page is equal to single article, and AID is equal to whatever is the article ID. we can make further improvements to it as well, but for now, once the comment is submitted, we'll redirect to the article page. And even we can have some other parameters as well for messages that the comment has been successfully submitted. But for now, just let us redirect it to the header page. In the separate improvements video, we can do all such things. Now let us try. We have 12 comments right now. If I refresh the page, so wonderful cricket match. One thing, if you inspect the form right now, so the values of will have errors because we are not having any get parameters here in the comment form. Each time, because we will be coming from the article page, it should have something like AID is equal to 5 and CID is equal to 0, something like this. So we have, what's the get PID, okay, PID, parent ID. This is the parent ID. So the parameter should be PID. Now you can see both the hidden fields have values of 5 and 0. 0 is means parent ID is equal to 0. So we will be coming from the article home page from here, or let us make quickly create a link here as well. So if I go to the single article page or articles.php to be precise, here if we just create a link, comment on this article, and the path should be index.php question mark page is equal to comment form and PID is equal to, because this is going to be the first comment, so PID is equal to 0, the parent ID should be 0, and the article or the AID should be whatever is in the git ID. So maybe we can get ID from somewhere. This is that ID. Print article ID. So if I refresh this page, now this is a link, or maybe if we can just wrap it inside a div so that it moves to its own line. Even if we can have some h2 around it, to make it a bit bigger. Okay, so comment on this article. If I click on it, So we have PID equal to 0 and AID is equal to 5. And if I inspect this form, so you can see we have the article ID 5 and the value is 0. If I come to some other article, for example this 9th one, I click on this, AID is equal to 9 and PID is equal to 0, and if I inspect it again, so the value is 9 for article ID and the parent is 0. That's how you use hidden fields inside the forms. Now let us try if everything is fine. For this form to work well, we need to have these two get parameters, PID, which is the parent comment ID. For top level comment will be 0, and for the article ID it is going to be AID. So this value will be saved in the database 0 and 5 with the article. This is great article. This is really the best article I have ever seen, and save. And we are redirecting it to articles page with the ID is equal to 5. I have changed it to the redirection to, if I come to the comments, if once the comment is submitted, I am redirecting it to articles page with the article ID. So we have been successfully redirected to this article 5, and once we are displaying the comments, it will be shown here at the bottom of the screen on the article page. If we now go to the database and browse, so you can see the value 15, the comment ID 15 has been added, and you can see the article ID is 5 and parent is 0, meaning that this is the top level comment. And I have kept the status as 0. So once the user logs in and he sees a comment has been placed on his article, he will then approve it. I will leave it as assignment to you because it is just the matter of changing this status from 0 to 1. Once the user logs in and checks if there is a comment, he will edit it and change his status to 1. But to make this tutorial shorter, or this class shorter, I will leave it as 1 for now. So let us change the value to status to 1, and if I submit another comment, for example on the 10th article, this too is great, and dynamic text and save. So if you refresh the page in the database, and now the status is 1. So for now let us keep it as 1. So we can now submit article comments on the articles. The next step is to show these comments. For example, on article 5 only the comments related to article 5 will be shown. On article 7 only comments related to article 7 will be shown, and on article 10 only comments related to the 10 will be shown. So showing these nested comments or any data structure in PHP MySQL is a bit tricky, but thanks to recursion kind of makes it easy. We so far in PHP haven't studied recursion, so let us create a page quickly and we will go through the concept, and then we'll display all the comments. So let me create a recursion.php file. So recursion, what recursion does is it's a function which recalls itself, but just like while loops, it should have some condition so that that calling is stopped at some after certain executions or whatever. So for example, if I create a function and I will call it display number, and it will be passed some number, for example 1 or 2 or 3 or whatever. Okay, so this function will display numbers from this to 0. So for example, echo $n, and if I call this number this function, sorry, and 5, so it will display this 5 as a number. Let me check if it is working fine. Recursion, so it's displaying 5, but not, this is not the goal. We want to display numbers from 5 onwards, downwards rather, 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1. So if n is greater than 0, meaning we should not go to either 0 or minus numbers, negative numbers. So we will echo n, but we are not going to echo it directly. We will recall this function, this function within the function again. So it will be display numbers and this. But at some stage this n should be decreased or increased so that we can have a condition which closes the running of the recursion function. So it will be n minus 1. Now if I maybe 100 and dot br, so that we can have the numbers on different lines. Let us check how it now prints it. We are not echoing the number, actually we are just running the function. Okay, so first time if it is 100, it will print 100 because n is 100 is greater than 0, and it will run the function again. This function will be run again, and once this function is run, the number will be 99, and then it will run 99 and so on. So if we refresh the page, sorry, we are at the wrong place. We'll start it with 5. That's what. And if you change it to 100, for example, the numbers, okay, so 100, 99, 98 up to 1, because we are closing the, we are using if statement, so that if n is greater than 0, only then will it recall itself, and each time the number is decreased by 1. So first time this function is called with 100, because this is the main calling of the function, and then the internal functions of the same name are called with lesser numbers. So display numbers n minus 1, first time it is called with 100, then 99, then 88, and so on. And when it reaches 1, it stops, because we have given it a condition of n is greater than 0. So what are recursions? Recursive functions call themselves, because this is the same name, these two are the same functions, it is called within the same function again. But remember, it will be infinite sort of running of functions if you don't specify any closing variables like this, conditions like this. That is very important. And then you call it with certain number, and it displays all the numbers. So we can do something like this, and we will see how it works stepwise for displaying comments. So let me create maybe in includes, because we will include it in the index page. So let us me create excuse me, a new file in comments, article comments .php, or maybe we can move it to includes. Okay, article comments.php, and here we need to have some logic to fetch all the comments from the database. So we'll start with the PHP tag. Let us include database.php, because we are now in the same folder, so we can directly include database.php. Let us define a query variable, maybe call it queues, select all from comments, or maybe just the comment ID, because we need it, the comment ID, title, and description. So edit, title, description, and then title, detail, detail, CID, title and detail. These are the three things we know we need, and the parent from comments. So PDO we already have now, query, rather let us have it differently. We need to fetch all the records from database. So video $, query, and we'll pass it $q. And it is going to be a rows. It will have all the rows. So if there is no where condition right now, so it will select all these records. The next is we will create a data array so that we can place all the data as we want inside a nested PHP array. Then we will run while loop, and what while loop will do is we will populate the data array with all the records we are getting from the database. So you already know fetch underscore a source, but if we use PDO fetch num, it will fetches the numeric array. So rows and fetch one record at a time, and then we will have PDO num. Fetch underscore num. It will fetch the row as a numeric array rather than associative array. And while loop has a body as well. So here this will fetch one row at a time for us and move the pointer to the next row. So for example, the first time this row fetch PDO fetch num is run, it will fetch this record and then this, and when it becomes false after 16 there will be no record, so this loop will stop. But what we need to do is we need to create some variables, which we can do with list function. You can Google about list in PHP like this. So list basically extracts variables, named variables from arrays. So from each record we can define 2 or 3 variables. For example, the first one will be ID of the comment, or CID, whatever you call it. Maybe CID is fine. Then the second one will be title, $title. Then description, and the fourth one will be parent. All these we need: CID, title, description, parent. So from the array from the numeric array we will extract of the row, we will extract these variables. So for that we are using list function. So whatever is in the array row, it will be stored in, for example, the first id will be, the comment id will be stored in cid, title will be stored here in this variable, description is this, and parent will be this. So as long as this is true, this while loop will be running. So here we need to populate the data array now, and that will be done with the key of the parent comment. So I'll explain it when dumping. So the data attribute should have, now we are extracting this parent. So parent, it will have a key of parent, and then say if a parent has 10 extra comments, what we can do is sub comments, we can store all those in that particular parent's key, and then we will assign it an array, and array will have all these values, and this is going to be associative array. So cid should be $cid, which we are extracting here, sorry, then title, and title should be title we are extracting from the row, then description $sign description, and we don't need parent, maybe we just need these three values in the array. Okay, so for example, if the parent is 0, so data is 0, and we can save all those records. If there is a comment with id 5 which has sub comments, so data 5, and then we will save all those there. Now this has been populated, this array. Let us dump it so that you know what we are doing. So echo pre, then data echo print underscore r, $sign data, and echo closing pre. Article comments.php, if we access it again, article or maybe we need to just change some logic. So let us have move this article comments outside of the folder, article comments.php, and we will be includes database.php. okay, so article comments.php, sorry, we already have database in the article space, so article comments.php, article comments, sorry, it should be just comments, and then column description is detail, sorry, this is detail, this is detail, okay. So this is the array, the data array. Now this is 0, 0 has the 0 parent key. It has all the records which has 0 as its parent. So the first element of this array is CID1, title, detail, CID2, 3, 4, 5, 13, 14, 15 and 16. All of these are the ones with 0. So all of these are the ones with 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. So all of these are the ones with parent 0, means these are the root level comments. And then if you come to the second key, which is 2, so 2 has one sub comment which is CID5. So if you come to 2, this is the 2 and it should be parent of CID5. So you can see the comment ID5 has a parent of 2. Similarly, 9, 10, 11 comment IDs has parents as the same parent of 6. So if you come to 6, comment ID 6, it will have 9, 10 and 11 as child comments. So this is basically the structure we have from the database. We have changed it to a nested array so that we can use it for our advantage. So let us recap. We are getting one row at a time in the while loop and then storing all of those array elements as variables in these CID title, and then we are populating arrays with the parent keys and passing these as arrays to these keys. So for example, the first time if a parent is 0, the first time it will have this array as a record. So the first time this has been added, this is that first array, then the second one for parent 0 and so on. Similarly for any parent 2, this is the child comment record. And if we come to 6, so it's 6 has 3, so the first time it adds this record to the array key of 6, then this and then this. All of this is done in this code. Hope it is clear. Now the next step is we need to output all this on the page. And for that, because we don't know how many levels deep the comment system is, the comments nesting is, that's why it's good to use recursion, a recursive function. So I will do it one step at a time so that you can understand it well. It's a tricky concept, but we will do it one step at a time. So I will create a function, display comments, like this. Initially the name of the function is this, so we will call it inside the function as well. This is known as recursion. So if a function is called, it calls itself inside a function, this means this is a recursive function, and here we will call the function like this, because first time it needs to be called. But for simplicity's sake, for now I am not making it recursive so that you can understand what we are doing. So once the display comments section will have a parent ID, and it will also have the array data. So it will be any array, or we can call it records or whatever. Records is an array basically. Okay, and we can even have depth or something like this, variable depth, and we can start it with 0. Initially it will be 0. I will make this will make sense once we use it. Okay, but for now the most important variables are records, which is the array, and in our case we will pass it this data array because we are populating it here, and the parent id. So if we need to display only the 0 ones, it will show these records, because this is the parent id 0, so it will show only these records. If I pass it a value of say 2, it will only show this. If I pass it 3, it will show me this. If I pass it 6, it will show me these values. So let's do it. Okay, so if I pass it, for example, 0 here, and data, and maybe 0 for now for depth, so it will show me all the records in this data array with the key 0. So we should first check if this key exists. If array underscore key underscore exists, what if array underscore key exists, parent id, in which in this records array, then do something. Okay, so if this exists, it means this value is there in the records array, and we know that we can then access something like this, records and $sign parent id, because this exists. This is what we were checking for. So if records is data and parent is 0, so record 0 means this, and that will be an array, this array. So we need to loop through it. So for each records parent id as maybe record, because it will show us one of the record only, and before the for each we will start a ul. So print ul and maybe some Talent classes which you know. Then after the loop we will close the ul like this, and here we will print alias with the title for now. Yes, so the assigned record title, print li just change it to single quotes. Okay, so if I pass it 0 now and data and 0, 0 means the parent ID and the data is the array and 0 is the level. So we can give it a level also. Class is equal to level dash $sign depth. So level dash 1, 2, 3, 4 or so on, or level dash 0. So this is for classes so that we can have different styling for each level of allies. Or maybe we can give it to the UL also. Let us see how it works out. But first let me just refresh it. And you can see we are getting all the allies of the parent 0. So good match, this was good match too. So if you see good match, it has a parent 0. This was a good match too, it is 0. So we are getting all the top level elements, all the top level comments. But if I change it to 6, for example this one, if the parent is 6, we will get these 3, 9, 10 and 11. So if I change the comment to 6, this one, so we will be probably getting 3 more. 3, these are the 3 ones, 3 comments under the parent 6, sorry. And if I inspect it, so you can see we are showing the levels also, level dash 0, 0, 0. Or maybe we can give it some in CSS styling. We will look into it, but for now it's working fine. Okay, but this is for just one parent ID, which is this 6 or 0, and even we can give with the title. This is title. If I can even concatenate the ID with it so that we can know what the record, what we are getting is CID. Yes, CID. Okay, so now the title will have the comment ID also. You can see 9, 10 and 11. If I change it to 0, this function to 0, so that the parent 0 will show all its sub comments. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 13, 14, or maybe if we can just add some dash with it, so that is a little clearer. So these are the comment IDs just for demo purpose right now. This function is working well, but only for one key which we pass, parent key which we pass to it here. So what if we can, since we are already getting And if we go back to this section, so we are outputting it in the for each loop, but if the id exists somewhere else, for example, if you can see 2 has the 2 number comment has a sub comment, similarly 3 has a sub comment, 5 has 2 comments, and 6 has 2 comments. So once it is displaying it, if 2 has, this is the 2 CID2, sorry, this one CID2, if it has some key here, which it is 2, so if this 2 has a corresponding parent key here 2, we need to run this function for that also. Similarly, if this is the so let's do it. ULLI here, we need to have some logic here. If this is the record ID, record CID for any of the sub levels, so if is set, we can use is set also, just like array underscore key exists. If is set records and if it has this ID, record ID, this one, if this exists, it means if this exists, for example this is 2, so in each iteration we are checking if this top level key also exists here like this, so we will run this function for it also. So if is set records record CID, if this exists or this is set up, we will run this function again, just like here, display this. But here we are not going to pass hard coded 0 or 1 or whatever, it will be this 2. We can pass 2 for hard coded, but whatever is the value at any current iteration, like this 3 or 4 or 2, so it will be passed here, so it will be record CID. And the depth initially was 0, but we will increment it by 1. Here we are passing outside the function for the first time, we are passing 0 as the parent and 0 as the level. So the next time it is run, it will be 0 plus 1, depth plus 1. And if even it has some internal running of the function, then it will be 2 and so on. Sorry, this is records. Okay, and if I refresh the page, hopefully it's a record. So display comments, record CID. Okay, we are just doing it outside the for each loop, that's why it's not working. It should be here inside the for each loop. So now it's displaying all the comments, and we need to give some indentation to and if I give this class to this UL, it will make more sense. Class is equal to level this. If I inspect it, the ULs will have some levels. The outermost is level 0, and then we have the inner ones which has the levels 2 and so on. So if we give different CSS to these, maybe in index.php, just quickly I need to add some CSS file. Here maybe just inline CSS. So dot level dash 0 will have margin dash left 10 pixel, color green, dot level dash 1, it will have margin dash left 20 pixel, color red, level dash 2, margin dash left 30 pixel, color brown, whatever. Okay, if I refresh the page, so now you can see it shows nesting. This is good match, this was a good match too. This is another comment, then it has a reply of this, yes I agree, and then these two are the replies of this. Similarly, if this is the third comment ID, the title, this is its reply, and then it has these 4 replies. So all of these are now nested. Hopefully you have got the concept. Now this is showing all the comments, but we only want to show the comments which are pertaining to only this article, which are about this article only. So we can include this articles comments inside the article page, and we can get the ID of the article which will be showing this. For example, if the most I have made is on 5 comment. Article 5 has many comments, so let us open article 5. This is the 5 article. So here we will, on this articles page, we will include the comments we have made, just the comments file we have made, and the ID will be 5 so that we can get the comments only pertaining to that article. So first step is to include this comments, article comments.php in the articles page here below this link. Here we will create a div and then inside it open the PHP tags, include article comments.php. Let us see if we can get it there. Here it is. And we can now close this dump in the comments form in this article comments. This is dumping this one. Let us comment it out. And because we are not running this through through index page, that's why we are not getting the CSS styling. So if we make it index.php question mark page equals to this, so you can see we are getting the nested structure of the comments now. Okay, so we are showing nested comments now, but we are on the article 5 page, but currently as we are fetching all the records, it is showing all the comments which are not even related to article 5. So what we need to do is we need to add a where condition in our query for comments. That's what we are going to do next. I'm on the article comments page and right now we are fetching all the records. So here we need to add where AID is equal to colon AID. So we need to fetch use where condition for this column so that only article 5 or whatever is in the get parameter that is fetched. Okay, so we need to change it to prepare, and then should be executed with the array. An array will have this value. $_get ID. Technically we should have a variable where we need to check if this exists. For now this is okay. So if we refresh it, hopefully some of the records will be gone. Okay, yes, we need to change this. So where AID is equal to AID. Where AID is equal to this, and now you can see some of the records are gone because they are not related to comment ID 5. So we are able to see comments pertaining to only the articles on their page. The next step is we need to have a reply. Technically we should display description here as well, but for now articles, the titles are fine. So if I need to say reply to this, yes I agree, or to this one, so we should be able to do that. And that's what we are going to do next, and the reply should go to the comment form we already have created. So let us add a link with each title, in front of each title, and once that reply is clicked, we will be ending up on that particular form for comments. It will be taking the comment ID as well as this article ID. So if here we are outputting the records, and if we, let me just now remove this CID column because we don't need it. This, if I refresh it, these columns, these numbers will be gone. Now in front of it, let me just add a reply link. So here if I just add some text for now, now you can see we can have, we are having reply in front of it. So we can see reply in front of the titles. Let me change it with a space. But eventually we have to make it a link so that once the reply is clicked, it should go to the comment form, and it will take the article ID along as well as the comment ID along. So I already have this code for the making the reply a link, so that we can save some time. Just paste it and explain you. So we will go to the ahref link will be index.php page is equal to comment form, and PID is the URL parameter for the comment ID. So we already have record CID, that's why it will be in the URL it will be PID is equal to whatever the comment ID is, and then the article ID, which is get ID, and we already have it here. We are getting the ID. It should be cleaned in real world scenario, but for now let us assume we are going to get only the IDs in the URL. So these two parameters will be taken along, and this is the reply. Maybe we need to add some more space, something like this, or let us leave it like this. Okay, so if I refresh the page, we now have a reply in front of all the titles of the comments. So if I click on any one of these, and you can see we have PID is equal to 2 and AID is equal to 5. And if I inspect, if you remember, we have used hidden fields for these. So parent is 2 and article ID is 5. So let us try it on some other article. For example, this that I hate adding dummy data, or maybe we should change the ID here 13. Okay, so this is 13 number article, and remember this comment on this article is the first ever comment on this page, this article. That's why it has a parent of 0. So if I click on it, and this is first comment and this is description, and just save it, so you can see now we have one comment here. And if I click on reply, so now the PID is 25 and the AID is 13. This is second comment, whatever it is. So now it is indented, means it is in the, if I click on it again, this is third level and this is fourth level. If I click on the first one again, the green one, let us see how it performs. I haven't tested it yet. So this is the second comment. So we have a hierarchical commenting system on our blog post now. Once we have learned Ajax, we will improve this form. We are going to this separate comment form page, but we will be including it in the comments in this page via Ajax. But for now, this is fine. So hopefully today's lecture was very useful for you as far as learning some nested hierarchical structures in MySQL and then displaying them in PHP. And you can see we have now a newer entries, and we are able to display them as well here. Some instructions for you for your assignment. So once the user logs in, he should be seeing comments with the status 0, and if he edits the comment, then only these comments will start appearing here on the article page. This is your assignment. Right now I have hard coded the status to 1, so whatever comment is submitted, it is being shown on the page, but you should be doing it with the approval process. Also, one more point in your assignment, we are displaying on any of the articles, we are displaying comments right now, but if a user wants to hide comments on a particular or not allow comments on a particular article, so he should have that provision. So if an article is edited, there should be a yes no field. So if the comments field is yes, only then people or visitors can see this link comment on this article. Otherwise no comments will be allowed on the article. So that's also the part of your assignment. Very easy, just you need to add one more column in the database table for articles, which is boolean value 1 or 0 for comments. So if it is true, you will be allowing comments on the article, otherwise not. Thank you very much. See you next time.